Hello, everybody. It is me. Back at it again.
And here I am, great
No, it's
softball,
me.
basketball.
And grape is ugly. Okay, so today we're doing a very special video. It's going to be the Reign of Dox, the first war of the Reign of Dox. Let me change my eraser size because Kabir is ugly.
You told me to make it that big.
No, I didn't. Okay, and then let's draw our map. This time we're going to be focusing this on
What do you mean this time? This is the first time we're doing it.
Yes, definitely. This is like communism. You just erase things that you don't want there. Okay, so this time, first time. So we're making
I
this
like
basically
communism.
into a series with all of the different areas. So first we're going to be drawing the maps and describing the peoples. And then we're going to be talking about the war.
I'm sorry.
The peoples.
I love my peoples.
Okay, so, and then we'll have like a little mini map in the corner that's gonna help you to know where we are. Oh, what the frick.
And I'll be
No,
helping
you're
with the
ugly.
story. He's helping make this stuff.
So, in case you didn't know, Kabir is ugly. Kabir just sat side. Why am I so ugly, he said. No. Okay, so here's our, like, little rendition of the map. It's not that good, but whatever. There's our map. Let me draw the borders real quick. Iron Man. Ruby Rose, Beagleville, and there's unknown stuff in the Kingdom of Dogs. So here we go. So we're gonna be doing cool kid stuff like we're cool. Okay. So
we're just pretending we're cool. We're really not.
So I think today let's start off with the intricate lore of the Nomads. Now these guys were very interesting. So let me draw the map. Actually, no. So what we're gonna do for this is, so let's draw these borders first. And the Nomads have very, like, oh, shoot. Okay, so in the mini-map, the Nomads are right here. These are the Nomads. So let's draw their territory, essentially. That's a very bad drawing over there. But let's draw their territory. It kind of goes like this.
Their territory is next to the Cliff of Oops, right?
Yeah. So here's the territory of the Nomads. And they're not really Nomads, they're just kind of Nomads. Okay.
You know what a kind of nomad is.
And then, so we have here, and then we have here. Okay? And then this is all ocean, so let me draw that in. Beautiful ocean. Okay. So here we have, what's it called again? Oh yeah, Bobby Guard. Here's Bobby Guard.
No, it was Bobbyville.
Bobby Guard.
Oh, Bobby Guard, yes.
Bobby Guard. No Man's Land, where no one really...
Never go.
Yeah, they can't really take the territory. It's too magical and all that.
But it's really hard.
Yeah, and it's hard to maintain. Okay, Kingdom of the Elves. So the Nomads in the Great War were kind of in a strategic importance to both sides, because Bodyguard and Kingdom of the Elves were at war, and then Doxia and all those places. So if you could get the Nomads on your side, then you could essentially attack the other person without having to do naval combat or going through other nations, which could prove bad because you lose some of your power. Now the advantage here is that Bodyguard could not really attack the Nomads because while they were big in size, they weren't that strong. They were like Italy in World War II. They weren't that strong. And then the kingdoms of the elves were obviously really strong. However, they were kind of the good guys in this great war, and they didn't really want to take other places. So, now let's get into the different...
The Nomads.
Yes. In the different areas. Oh, and then No Man's Land was a magical place, cool kid style.
Yeah.
So actually, before we do that, let's get into, the geography of this area.
Oh, no.
This is going to be pretty fun. Okay. So, over here, actually... Huh?
So this is the episode where we teach you all about territory.
What territory?
All of the territories.
What do you mean?
That's this video.
All of them?
Yeah.
Like Doxia and all that?
Yeah. Just
No. It's
Nothing
just
else.
going to be about the Nomads this one.
Okay.
We're going to create very intricate lore, and hopefully you guys are into it. So let's do this.
Yeah, guys.
So
I'm so excited.
let's start off with one of the main features.
No, bananas.
Shut up. One of the main features of the Nomads area, and this over here. And these were the Cliffs of Ooks. Well, that's not what they're really called, but that's what we like to call them. Cliffs of Ooks.
Because this is all
Now, this area had a lot of plant life, and it was also very useful for, and it was also a very kind of magical area. Like, shut up. Okay. Oh my god, shut your mouth! And these cliffs were absolutely ginormous. They were big. And they weren't really of strategic importance because of the fact that you couldn't really land any ships here because they were cliffs.
Yeah.
And then oh my.
Okay.
And then over here we have the beaches of the Nomads. And these areas were pretty good for landing ships and all that. So these were of strategic importance. And as a matter of fact, later into the war, when Bodyguard tried to attack the Nomads with Doxia, they actually tried to take these beaches, and it was a very big battle here. And so those are kind of the beachfront areas. And then let's get into the mountains and lakes and all that. So over here, no, not over there. What am I doing? Okay. Over here, we have a really big mountain range. And this mountain range basically spanned the horizontal direction across the Nomads region. And basically, it made it so that while the Nomads were still of strategic importance to attack both of these places, it kept the war from essentially... Like, it kept the war on the eastern front, which is over here, which is north because I'm sideways. Because the thing was, these mountains were really hard to cross. And if you went around here, over to here, like over to here, or to here, then obviously it would be really defended because it was way too close. So if you wanted to do a land crossing, then you'd have to go Oh, and then these mountains also stretched along like this.
This mountain stretch.
And then, so basically you'd have to go... Oh, shoot. There we go. So basically you'd have to kind of go along here. Actually, yeah. You'd have to go along here, and you'd have to attempt to cross through No Man's Land into Bodyguard. And this was obviously really hard, and neither side attempted this, so that's what kept the war on the Eastern Front. So here we have these mountains. Then over here, sorry. What am I doing? Yes. Over here, we have like basically a series of like hills and fortresses that were created. So we have lots of them, and these were also important because when they tried to land over here, then these guys were here to protect. And so this is kind of the area of this is kind of how the Nomads were there. This is kind of their main geography, and then there was a lake right here, but it's not important.
Oh, and make sure you tell them about how the Nomads were one big tribe and they were all
Yeah, that's what I'm going to get into. Okay. So the Nomads are called Nomads because they're not one big state. They were kind of they were very friendly with each other. However, they weren't like a big state, and they would occasionally fight. So let's darken
To
this
show who
layer.
is more powerful.
Let's darken this layer. I mean, lighten. I mean, opaken. Whatever. I mean,
whatever, bro. It doesn't matter.
and let's create a new layer, and let's get into the areas. So the one nearest to the kingdom of elves was this one. And, oh, sorry, I've drawn that wrong. I'm stupid. Okay. It goes like this. So this is kind of a smaller area. And this area was called, Grape.
No, it wasn't called Grape.
Grapeland.
Wasn't it called Boxville?
Grapeland.
Oh, no, the next one.
Oh, this is in the Nomads area,
Oh.
stupid. Okay, so Grapeland. This entire video is about the
Nomads.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's gonna be pretty long because
That's
there's a lot of
So we're
intricate
making
lore.
a series, basically.
Yes. So here we have Grapeland, and they were also very into. They were okay.
But
And they were very friendly with the kingdom of the elves, more so than people up here. And okay, so let's get into the next area. So over here on the beaches there were two tribes. Well, not really tribes. There were two areas. One was like this, and the other was like this. And so these two areas, I don't know what their names are. It's gonna be
Trabajo.
Boxy and
Doxy.
Chinggis Land.
Oh yeah, sorry, Chinggis Land.
No, Chinggis Guard. Okay.
Chinggis Guard, yes.
Okay, so these two areas were obviously they were very friendly with each other, and
because
they were
they
were the main point of conflict for the basically this area when Bodyguard tries to attack the beaches. They were obviously going to be under attack, and Boxy controlled these forts, which really helped. And this was eventually what led to basically the kingdom of the elves teaming with basically getting the nomad support and led to them winning the war.
You'll learn more about it later, don't worry about it.
Yes. This is already 13 minutes long.
Bruh.
Okay. And then we have one of the biggest tribes. This one, however...
These boys, though.
Now, this tribe, while it was huge, it's like Mongolia. It's big, but it doesn't really...
You're
it's not
so
that powerful.
offensive to like half.
How am I offensive? Am I wrong? No. And I'm talking about like population.
What about okay?
Oh no, they have less people. Top 10 offensive humans. Okay. So these guys were called Flongus. And so they didn't really have much population, but they controlled a lot of area. So they're like Siberia, they're like Mongolia, they're like
literally every power.
Think of more places. I can't. Australia, Western Australia. So that's what Flongus is like, and yeah, I mean these borders are kind of wonky. This Chinggis Guard area is a bit too big, but we'll move on. So and then we have over here.
This map is not drawn to scale. It's only
here. We have Bungus.
Bungus.
Now these guys were kind of like the leaders of the nomads. But however, and they also had a lot of area. They were like China or the Soviet Union.
Or the Soviet Union.
I'm just making up so many random geography analogies right now. Or the US.
I mean, at least you're good at it.
So here we have Bungus. These guys were the military power, and they were technologically, they were the most advanced of the nomads. They didn't really use magic, however, they made good advancements in like technology and all that jazz.
You know.
So this was like kind of the bustling hub of the nomads.
I don't know what a hub is, because they don't know what that is.
Hub is like a city.
Their capital, basically.
Oh my god, no, like a bustling hub of technology,
Oh, okay.
Like, okay. Anyways, So here we have these guys, and these guys were called Blingus, and these guys had a very interesting lifestyle. They were
Interesting.
they're kind of like Mongolia again. No, not Mongolia. Yeah, I guess Mongolia. No,
India.
no, they're like the Native Americans, right? Like they live very unsophisticatedly because of their location. And so obviously they're right next to no man's land, and they were actually they actually were probably the closest to being able to take it because they learned the ways of the no man's land. So actually I can draw like a little dotted line here to kind of show you like how far in they could go into no man's land, because obviously no one else wanted this stuff. But they learned the ways of the no man's land, and they kind of took it. But they weren't that powerful. They were kind of like Flongus in a sense.
Mongolia.
No, because I like Native Americans.
Right.
They were like Flongus in their area, since like lots of area, not that much people, humans. Okay. And then we have these guys, and these guys were long, like they were long boys. I'm telling
Like
you this,
tall
boy.
or
Tall boys, yeah, sure. Actually, they don't cross into the mountains. They go like here. They're like freaking Chile, boy. They just stretch all across. They're like halfway through. Okay. Hey, did you notice that no man's land looks like Albania? Anyways, so these guys were obviously
shout
called.
out to whoever did. Comment down below if you did.
These guys were called Ongus, and again they were near no man's land, but the thing was they they actually had a really big, not a really big role in the war, but kind of big war. So it was like they were the closest to joining Bodyguard, because I don't know why, they just were. They just wanted to be like that. They actually had a pretty big rivalry with our next people. These people were pretty big chunky boys because they lived in the mountains. These guys were called the Ugas. And they were kind of like the Blinguses. They weren't that advanced, but they lived in the mountains, and they found lots of supplements there. And so Ongus wanted the Ugas, and they kind of joined Bodyguard. Not really. They were like who trying to think of someone in World War II who was close to joining the Axis, but not. I don't know what they were like. Honestly, they were like I don't know. They were like people who are close to joining the bad guys, but they didn't, because yes.
A lot of their so-called.
But they didn't. But they were the only people in the entire Nomads area who didn't join the Kingdom of the Elves when Bodyguard sieged Boxy and Chinggis. Okay, so next we have these guys, and these guys are shaped like Virginia. Don't ask me why. But these guys are obviously called Blongus.
Oh yeah, that one makes sense too.
Blongus. And they controlled the cliffs of Ooks, which was very, very good, and they made them very powerful. They were like second place to Bungus. But actually, Grapeland was also very powerful because they were near to the Kingdom of the Elves. And then
what about that one kingdom that had
and then the place with the most tension there. Like, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna break out into all-out war? That's right, it's your boy Chongus Guard. No, Chongus Land. Okay.
Chongasville.
These guys were like the Soviet Union in the 1940s against Germany, who was like Bodyguard and Doxia. Okay, Chongus Land was like the place not to be, because it was like they're gonna freaking kill you. But Bodyguard actually didn't siege out Chongus Land until they got the beaches. Because
That makes sense.
Chongus Land, like, they weren't that powerful. Once again, they were pretty darn big, but they weren't that powerful. And so they didn't want to waste their energy going after Chongus Land, because the thing was, it was very hard to siege because they had an interesting thing. They had an island in the middle of this lake, and this is where their hub was. So they obviously wouldn't surrender until their hub was taken, but they had to go into the lake and do that. And the Chongus people were very trained in that. They were like Finland against the Soviet Union. There's a lot of analogies going on here. But anyways,
my boy here just watched
this is the Nomads area. Now remember, all of these borders are basically hypothetical. They weren't really states. They were kind of like tribes.
Yeah.
But we'll get into the few wars of the Nomads in a separate video, I guess.
Yeah.
Civil War or something.
Bro,
Bye bye. And Hail
Hail
Gregeon.